Hello and welcome to the zoominghooskpodcast, and I am your host, Dustin DaHusky.
I'm Kurt Ansarpus.
And we were having a bit of technical difficulties trying to get the show started. Luckily, I have IT Poos to help me fix my computer, and it turned out my computer really needed a hard boot. And my Java update available. Look at that.
I thought Java was dead.
Yeah, it may have. I don't know.
I think it died. I think there's no more Java.
Clear all my notifications. There we go. Yeah. So it's been infuriating me quite. And well, it was just kind of annoying because this computer's only 2 years old.
Yep. Not at all. It's not that old.
I replaced my 9-year-old computer with this one 2 years ago.
I remember when you did that.
I was very proud. I was very happy. And trying to figure this computer out all on my own was a proud moment for me because I hate technology as far as getting to know it. Yeah. Once I know it, it's fine, but getting to know everything is overwhelming because you know what?
Because you moved from Windows 7
to Windows 10.
To Windows 10.
Which there wasn't really that big of a change.
But
I got rid of the tiles on the screen.
The tiles was definitely the setback for a lot of people.
I hate the tiles.
Everybody hates the tiles, I think.
I don't understand why they went to tiles. They think, oh, you can find a lot easier. No, I'm looking at a whole lot of nothing.
Yep.
I don't know what to look for, and what I am trying to look for is not where I think it is.
Yeah, it's just a bunch of pictures and colors.
Yeah, it's not useful.
That's not how an operating system should look.
Sorry,
Microsoft.
Let's actually talk about this. Technology is supposed to be easier for us over time, right?
Yep.
Like doing your dishes back 100 years ago literally meant you were washing your dishes every night. Kind of like what my family does. And we rarely use our own dishwasher, so we're going back 100 years as far as that's concerned. But you have a dishwasher to help relieve your daily working life with one less function you have to do, because often enough when it really matters, your time actually is worth something. And I frankly find washing dishes, if I were to save a few days worth of dishes of my own, then it's not so bad. When you're washing dishes every night, you're wasting time.
Yeah.
I would rather what?
I tried that.
What?
We did that. We sat on dishes for 4 or 5 days.
Oh, I wouldn't know if I would go that far, but I would say 2 or 3 days before. Okay, I'm saying living by myself.
Here's my thing about that. This is only I'm speaking from experience, Poos. If you're not going to wash them, at least put them in a sink.
Underwater.
In hot water and soap, so that
stuff is easier.
Right.
Oh yeah, I understand that.
If you just let a plate sit for 2 or 3 days.
If you let it dry sit, that's not good.
Like
but
all
if you
the
let
ketchup that's on this plate.
If you actually let you know how we do dishes here, right? Okay, so that's what I meant by having it sit for 2 or 3 days, is to let it sit in water. If you're going to air dry
if you do
dirty
that
dishes
with all 4 people in this house, we won't have dishes in 3 or 4 days.
Actually, we wouldn't have that many dishes in 3 days, period.
No, I'm just saying you would run out of clean dishes in 3
Actually,
or 4 days.
we might run out in 2 days because we don't have that
That's
many dishes.
why we do dishes every night.
Which, to me, is insane, the amount of water usage. So, technology improves. We have a dishwasher that uses an efficient amount of water every night or every other night to do dishes for us. Saves us time and probably saves us money in the sense that you're not using a dishwasher. You're only using it once every other day compared to using your sink and letting it run for half an hour at a time. Because that's almost kind of what it is. Because to be turning on the faucet, turning it off, turning on and off, on and off, on and off is such a waste of time. You're better off letting it run. Because you're going to be touching that handle so many times, it's almost worth just keeping it on. And then you waste water that way because it's just not efficient. technology. It's supposed to make our lives easier. No, I don't know why, but some modern technology today, and I'm going to go on a bit of a rant. It's gotten too fancy for my own liking. Not fancy. Well, I don't know. Fancy in the way that it's too intricate, that it's too convoluted. You want to? It's like.
What are we speaking about?
Let's actually talk about software and this and that. So let's talk about phones, tablets,
operating systems, and phones.
Hell.
Here's my theory with Windows when they did this tile thing.
Yeah.
They tried to make it look like a mobile app. They tried to make it look simpler for people who are not computer savvy to be able to use a computer. For those people that are not used to looking at Windows Explorer for finding files. That's why they did that shit. They tried to make Windows more appealing for a wider, less tech-savvy audience.
I actually have no idea how they would have accomplished that the way they did. I don't think they did, because I don't see... You can consider me a bit less tech-savvy, because I'm more analog more than anything else. I do enjoy simple or moderate technology in terms of advanced level or whatever, or you know what I mean by that, right?
Yeah.
I can figure my way through my computer, which is how I'm able to use it today.
Right.
It was simple enough for me to grasp, and I took the time, and you know what? At the end of the day, well, really after a couple days, I was able to log in, log off of my laptop without an issue.
Right. You set up the computer by yourself. You didn't even have any help from me.
No.
The only thing I helped you do was get rid of the tiles. After that, you were up and running on your own.
Yes.
Here's my thing and my theory with you. I would say that you are tech-savvy, Hoosk, but you're just not great with troubleshooting and problem-solving when there's an issue outside of your realm of familiarity.
Yeah. I'm as stuck as a Hoosk in eating a sock or something. Like,
That's
mechanically, I'm very, very mechanically inclined, where I enjoy working on the Skylar because it's entirely mechanical. There is no computer. I can fix everything on that car with a tool wrench set, or with all my tools. I could do hell, my dad's got an engine hoist. If I got really, really critical with things, I could remove the engine out of that car, because there's not many wires to it. There's only 6 wires that actually are needed to start the car. And they're all in the engine bay. But when it comes to my computer, like what was going on before the show, I'm like looking at you and say, I need your help. Like, my ears are flattened, and...
You were hiding under the kitchen table looking up like a goose glove.
Yep. I'm like, please help. I don't know what I'm doing. And it turned out, sometimes the best solutions to a lot of things is have you really, really, really turn the thing off and turn it back on again. Often enough, that will solve the issue.
Yeah.
I would say 60% of the time it'll solve an issue.
A hard reset, we call that.
Which I generally just tend to restart my computer and put my laptop display down.
Yeah.
What I really should be doing, perhaps, is just let it shut down and then do it, and I just start it again.
Because when you shut it down all the way like we just did,
yeah,
you're clearing the cache. Everything that's been running for the last week or 2
months
ends. He hasn't shut down in months.
There was actually a few times where I have not shut down this thing in like 4 months, and it's like, I really should. Yeah.
I've done the same.
What I really should get into the habit of, because it did not take very long for it to boot up, is just to fully, unless it's the weekend, perhaps, if I'm going to be on my computer a lot, then that's one thing. But like, let's say during my workday, I won't be getting to it until 8 hours after, and I may not even touch it during the morning. So I'm almost better off just shutting it down at night. That way it's resetting the capacitors.
You can actually set it up so that it will shut down automatically for you. Like after you go to bed, if you don't think about it.
I don't like... I want to know.
You want
It's
to?
like I want to be in full destiny of what I want to do. My car...
voice commands.
My car has an automatic headlight setting. I never use it because you know why?
You don't trust it.
No. Well... I'm knowledgeable enough to know how my headlights work, and I'm not stupid enough to forget to not put them on. Plus, too, having your headlights on, which is safe during the day, you burn out your taillights, your parking lights, and your headlights out faster. Which means you go to the dealership more often.
Yeah.
And they're making cars a lot harder for you to replace your taillights with, or any light bulb.
Yes, they are.
In order to get to my front headlights, I have to take my bumper off. Which is most cars these days. Half of the whole bumper has to come off on one side.
What the hell?
If I need to do both headlights, the whole bumper comes off.
You can't just pop the trunk and...
Oh, no. The rear lights are their own little issue, but not so bad.
Wow, that's insane.
I have to remove the outboard tail lights to remove the bulbs. The inboard ones on the trunk lid I can actually leave on the car, but there's a little panel that I have to prop off to get at. But otherwise, it's not so bad. The only ones that it does not tell me how to specifically do is my license plate lights. But that I would rather do at a dealership because I actually don't know how they come on or how they come off. Automatic features, to me, not... I'm just one person. Automatic features to me that does something automatically that I could easily do myself and know that I will do anyway. Feels like I am a clueless person that needs to be told what exactly to
This
do.
is the kind of person that uses Windows in its native form, Windows 10.
Yes.
That's the kind of person that uses that version of Windows. A person that can't, that they don't know any other way but the tiles.
Right. Which in that case, for those who don't have a clue, that's perfect for.
Yeah.
While I'm not that tech savvy, I have still a clue because I have been on the internet that's since '98. So as far as going online, going on my computer, whatnot, this is nothing new for me. My grandparents, who are 85 and 82, they're more tech savvy than most people.
Their age.
Yeah. My grandma sends letters to journals online to get them published, which, of course, this is still a generation that you send, I am going to make a grievance, and I'm going to make a letter online for that everyone to read. She comes from that generation, because most of us from our generation, both yours and mine, we don't do that, because you know why? We don't have enough time in our day to start ranting about other people's shit.
Oh, we do. We just do it in different ways.
Oh, yeah. We just actually talk to each other on our podcast, and we just, bullshit about stuff.
She documents it. That's
But
the
at
old,
least
that's
with
the
her.
old world way.
However, it's a more constructive way.
It's funny, too. My mom started off with computers, and my dad had an opportunity to learn computers at the fire department because they had a computer there, but he refused to use it. He was a stubborn old loaf and ignored it. He thought it would go away. It wouldn't be using it. And then when it came later in life, he was kicking himself for not learning it because he would have been better.
I mean, really, anyone can learn how to use the internet, their own computer, or just to, even if the internet does not interest them. There are some people who believe that the world beyond their own is not worth pursuing. Then that's okay. But learning stuff like how to do a document for stuff like that, or this and that, or a
Yeah.
weather app.
Yep.
You know what? If it's just their bare essentials, they can computer.
Yeah.
It just means it's going to be a very limited aspect of it all. I still don't understand why you would want to limit yourself to only to what you ever know, but hey, there are some people who feel comfort in that without knowing much of the world.
Because thinking back, my dad used to be good at stuff like that. He was an expert at playing Atari games. We had an Apple IIe computer that he used.
Mm-hmm.
So he used to know this stuff, but he just, when it got later and computers started evolving, he just didn't bother trying to relearn. So he lost interest in it. I don't know why, he just did. That's too bad. Because he would have been great.
I think so too. But yeah, I think I think the point that I'm just trying to make here is I feel like some technology certainly puts us in the right direction of simplifying our lives to a degree that we don't have to worry about doing it.
Yes.
We can use whatever time saved done by technology that we can do with recreation. I am full support of that because you know what? We have reduced ourselves to much like the earliest 20th century, where we are becoming all work and no play. In this fetishized view of capitalism, not going into politics, I'm just saying, Americans love rugged individualism of, yeah, hard work means that you get to play hard later in life. But what happens if you die at 50?
Yep.
You work hard all your life and you get struck by a train. You decide to dare a train, say, ha, make my day, and then get wiped off the face of the earth. You never really got to play hard afterwards.
Yep, you just worked hard the whole time.
I think technology is great in order to help enjoy the time current.
Yep.
More now than later, because what's going to happen later, we don't know. I tend to live in the now more than later. But there's instances like this where technology is like, wait a minute, why do they do it like this? Why do they do it like that? They didn't have to do that. What worked before was all right, but they did it this way, and it just doesn't make sense.
Yep.
It's just there's a need to change something. So, oh well, this is very revolutionary, and then people are going to say it sucks, but then the company knows it sucks, but they can't back down because that means that they say, oh, we made a mistake.
Yep.
Oh, this wasn't so revolutionary after all, and then they have to really double down.
Yep.
So most of them, what they do is they just say, "Oh, this is pretty good. I don't know what you're talking about," and then secret like, "Hey guys, why don't you develop the previous system and put it in our next one so there's an option for it, okay? And then we'll call it extra evolutionary." Oh, okay.
What operating system do you guys use at work?
None. We have our own proprietary system. It's called TOLAS.
Like as in no toes?
TOLAS.
Oh, it sounds like toeless. Like that guy's toeless. He has no toes.
Apparently, it's called TOLAS 3800. I don't know where they came with the number, but it's my company exclusive operating system that's never been updated since 1984.
Wow.
So much so that we're still using the orange and black we are still using the orange and black computer monitors to this day. Which some people think it's like, oh my god, it's Fallout 77. Because it looks like the machines that these players go to for information or whatnot. Yep. It's like, oh my god, you live in Fallout. And it's like, yeah, it sucks. Yeah, it's entirely get this. My company has its own system. My company may have gotten so desperate at one point. My company does not own their own system. They sold it to someone else to maintain.
A lot of companies do that, though.
So in order to make...
They outsource their support.
So now, it costs them money to do stuff for their own system that they've created.
See, this is corporate America at work here.
Yeah.
Rather than keeping a staff on to maintain the
it.
system and maintain the operating system, they outsourced it. Which really, actually, I'm not going to say it's smart. It's cheap.
Yep.
It's a cheap way to continue to use a system that should have been killed decades ago.
We can't use a mouse. Using a mouse in the system does not work. You can plug in a mouse all day, it won't work. We have to use the enter key all the time. Enter key.
To move through the whole system?
It's actually an index system.
So every time you hit enter, it moves it?
Actually, no. It's got a list. It's got multiple menus.
Okay.
And each menu has an index number, which you click on. So, well, not click on, you type on, and it's all numbered. So 1 through whatever number. Normally it's double digits, but nothing more than 50. And you want to go into product inquiries, so you end up doing 3. You do 3. No. Okay, so I'm going to go use this as an example. You're in your main screen before you log off.
Uh-huh.
Because if you backspace way too many times, which is Control Z, it will ask you if you want to log off the system.
Okay.
So what you do is let's say I'm going to go into 3 index or index 3 and enter. Then there's a whole lot of other menus that you can go through as well. And then index 3 or index 7 or whatever. And then you just keep going until you're ready for your program. Yeah, the mouse does not exist in my company. It's kind of weird.
That is weird.
What does Walmart use?
I don't know, they just changed it again. It was a really good system, and now you have to log in to the desktop.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have to log in to the operating system. And then you have to log into the browser to log into Walmart One, which is their hub for going to all the different things, looking at your paycheck, looking at your time clock, looking at your benefits.
Is it specifically your store, or is it all of Walmart?
Well, you can get it. We have to log in. The funny thing is, because of the way they have it set up now, we have to log in as a guest, even though it's our store. Because there's an option for home store and visiting store. And we have to log in as a visiting store.
Oh, wow.
Which doesn't make any sense because it's our store. But, so yeah, I have to log in 5 times if I want to clock in on the computer rather than using the time clock, which is just a card swipe.
You will have to do the swipe.
Yep.
Or cat's the swat.
Yep.
Yeah, technology is fun. It's just, if it's something a Hoosk can handle, then it is simple enough. If it's too complex for me to understand, there might be some good reasoning that it might need to be simplified to a good degree that even people who maybe who might be technically timid, in a sense that I'm not afraid of using technology. It's just if I can get a good grasp of how it's used, then I can totally be fine with it. But if you're going to make something complex, I would have zero interest in trying to learn it because it just sounds just silly.
Yeah.
We got a lot of what's
I've only been on Windows 10 for about 3 years myself now.
And how do you like it?
I miss Windows 7. It was a little more stable.
It's more stable?
Yeah, I feel like it was more stable. Is there another operating system out yet?
From what I've been told, Windows 10 is all we get. And they're only going to be doing patches to Windows 10. So this will be the last operating system that Windows will have.
I thought they were going to make another one.
Oh my goodness, because they've been saying that for the last 3 years. Because there was
When
Windows
is the next
7, there was
Windows
Windows
coming out?
8, and then there was Windows 10.
When is the next Windows operating system due out?
Because from what I've been told, Windows 10 is the future operating system. They're just going to update it periodically. I just don't understand why they have to put a number to it. If it's going to be the operating system, they may as well just say Windows operating system. And just call it at that. Because there's no point in putting a numeral behind it if you're always going to update it. Unless you know it's bad and then you have a number system of, succession and whatnot.
You're right. Instead of releasing an entirely new and different version of its desktop operating system, every few years Microsoft is taking the Apple-like approach to subsequent Windows releases, standardizing on Windows 10 as its
Base.
Cupertino? Cupertino? What does that mean?
I have no idea.
Ooh, I've never heard that word. Base Randall is done with OS X. So that's it. We don't go beyond 10. Interesting. We'll see how that works out.
In about 5 years' time, they're going to say, oh, it'll be Windows 15.
I mean, the one thing I've noticed is that every month lately, they've been updating Windows 10. And it's never an option. It's always, you have to update. What about people that don't have internet connections? Because there are people out there that don't have internet.
That choose to not have it.
They never have to update.
No. Actually, they would have the base... If they were to buy a laptop but have no internet connection ever, they will have the bare basic... No, well actually no, it won't be bare basic unless they have the very first version of Windows 10. If they bought a new laptop today but never connect to the internet ever,
Yeah.
it will have the most up-to-date Windows at that point at the last time it was updated, and that would have been the time it was bought.
And then never again.
And then never again, which at that point, you're using the machine for something else. But also, too, to not ever get a internet connection means you're out somewhere where you get other things to worry about, which in that case means, I don't know what that would mean, actually. Because there are, actually, it would be like older people. They may only want to have a computer just to type things up.
Yep.
That way they don't have to use a typewriter. I can see the appeal. Well, I like the internet, don't get me wrong. But I can see the appeal of those who don't have the internet. You can still use a computer if it means you can still print out Oh, wait a minute. Don't you need an internet? No, it's a Wi-Fi connection. But that's not internet, though.
Well, yes.
It is internet.
Yes.
So technically, you'd have to have a hard line going from your printer to your computer.
Well, no. Well,
Or do ya?
how do I explain Wi-Fi? I mean, networks are centralized, so it's just within your
Immediate
small,
area.
immediate area. Doesn't necessarily mean that it connects to the internet as well. So, yeah. That's basically it.
Huh. That's interesting. I am just a simple Hoosk, trying to simply swirl. I'm just trying to understand the world as it is. And often enough, there are a lot of things that interest me, and others just confuse the Hoosk. And then I sneeze and explode.
I don't think I'm going to last much longer. I'm struggling to fight sleep.
All right.
I've been up since
Well,
12.
I'm going to do a small update on things and whatnot.
Go for it.
So, tomorrow, since today is Tuesday the 2nd, tomorrow I have my orientation with my new job for 3 hours.
Woohoo.
So, finally, I am advancing in life from getting away from this hellhole I call a company. I will only say that. However, once my training of 2 or 3 weeks is done, and when I get a route, for those that don't know, I have a new job, and I will be a bus driver or a short bus driver, picking up and dropping off senior citizens, disabled people, people who fit the need for I don't know if it's subsidized public-private transport. I don't know. It's actually not a part of the Milwaukee County transit system, but we work alongside them. So it's a kind of a private company, but it also works in a public interest, I guess. Anyway.
We'll just call it special needs public transport.
There we go. And they'll have times starting at 3 a.m. in the morning, going on till 1 a.m. at night. I don't know what my future route will be. And normally, and this is a union job, so whatever routes are out there are probably going to be snatched up by those who are interested in picking up a better route.
Mm-hmm.
I'm more likely to be at the bottom of the totem pole of getting what's left, or at least what's available.
Yep.
I will continue to do podcasts because I'm having fun doing podcasts. But I'm not sure what days the podcasts will be recorded. So who knows? Tuesdays and Saturdays still might be the tradition, or they might change to other days. But I would still plan on doing them anyway. I have fun doing podcasts. Do you have fun?
I do have fun.
It's actually the most fun I've ever had in a long while. Also, too, Kurdan, do you have anything to say? I can't speak. Do you have any exciting news yourself on job prospects?
I have a level 75 summoner.
He is doing Final Fantasy stuff.
And I applied also for driving special transport at Transit 1.
Yep. So, Kurdan here is also applied for the same position as I have, because he's also looking to get out of Walmart, which you've been saying so for a while, and you weren't sure where or when it would happen, but you knew that your time was coming up, and this
I
would
just
be
didn't want to make this a career.
Right. Oh, yeah.
You know, and even, I believe Ray actually mentioned to me, don't stick around too long because you'll be stuck there forever.
Like him.
Like him.
Yeah. So I think he's been there 7 years.
Yeah, it'll be 8 years in like April or May.
Oh, damn. Well, I mean, you gotta like the job enough to stay there long enough. I've only stayed at my company for 2 years, 2 months. And that's long enough for me. And there's people who have been there 45 years. So, yeah. I don't need to stay here any longer than I need to, and I need to find something better.
A company like that does not deserve lifers.
No. And the only lifers are the ones that don't work in directly with my boss. The ones who work with our boss don't last here very long either.
They revolve.
Yep. Out the door in the blink of an eye.
Yep.
So I just want to let our listeners know that we will continue to do the podcasts whenever we can. I would hope to get more guest hosts at some point, or at least when it's safe to do so, knowing pandemic and whatnot. But for now, it'll just simply be me and Kurdan, and we'll continue to plan to do podcasts when we're able to. And once I figure out my schedule, and if Kurdan also lands a job at First Transit, we'll be working probably around our schedules to see what can be possible. So we'll make something happen. I enjoy doing these.
You do.
I think it's fun. It's a fun little personal pet project of just doing something. Even if it is talking to a fuzzy microphone that looks like a really, really well-kept afro.
Yes.
That would be super dense and so fuzzy. Oh my goodness. It's like a marshmallow.
I want marshmallows.
Ooh, marshmallows. So that's kind of what's in the works right now. So for all those who have been listening so far about how much I hate about my job, I'm on my way out. I put my 2 weeks in yesterday, and I'm going to be out the door next Friday. So exciting times for Hoosk. And also exciting times for Wolfcat, who is also finding a way to escape Walmart. So anyway, this is a shorter episode, but it's nice to have shorter ones at times. So I guess we will sign off. So this is another episode of the Zooming Hoosk podcast, and I am your host, Dustin DaHusky.
I'm Kurdan Sourpuss.
And we'll catch you next time.